Yes, thank you, Mark. Welcome everyone inside the Tottenham Stadium, and what a noisy welcome it's been as well for the new manager Ange Postecoglou. His first home Premier League match begins, and immediately the ball bouncing back towards the edge of the Spurs penalty area where the new goalkeeper Vicario picks it up. But Ange Postecoglou stands all in black, short-sleeved shirt, big forearms, hands buried in his pockets, and when he came out, and he did come out a little earlier than the players or Eric Ten Hag, a huge mosaic was lifted by the fans in the south stand which read "Welcome to N17." So Ange Postecoglou's first Premier League match here at Tottenham as the manager has begun, and it's Spurs on the attack, and across from the right hand side, and Son with a volley, but he mishit it all the way across the edge of the penalty area, and Luke Shaw was underneath it to volley it away to the halfway line where it bounces out of play. So it is Tottenham against Manchester United. If you're a football fan, this is the sort of match that probably conjures up all sorts of memories from meetings they've had in the past, and Chris Waddle sitting next to me was involved in one or two of those. But what about the new start for Spurs?
Good, they had an early start. We see how he wants to play, wants to keep possession. Played a little bit of a panic in there at the back when they played little triangles with the goalkeeper, but they get it away, and Son, really, it was a difficult volley to control. But you can see Man United want to press, but Tottenham look very confident on the ball. Spurs
with the ball inside their own penalty area. First time they've started a season here in the Premier League without Harry Kane since he first burst onto the scene. He's just a mural on the other side of the high road now. Tottenham's top scorer in each of the last 9 seasons. But the page has been turned, and Tottenham with Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, he's fit, Mickey van der Ven and Destiny Udogie, the back four. Pap Sarr and Yves Bissouma are in central midfield. James Maddison is central, Kulusevski on the right, Captain Son on the left, and Richarlison through the middle, and Manchester United in the penalty area, and a left foot shot from just outside the box which whizzes over the top of the crossbar, and Vicario happy to see it there from Anthony just outside the edge of the penalty area with his left foot.
Yeah, as you can see already, Tottenham like to use the goalkeeper as a spare man at the back. This time they got caught out. Porro a little bit flopping. Anthony capitalises on it, but the shot goes high and wide. But you can see how Tottenham want to play. They want to keep possession of the football. They're making Man United chase, but at times they do take a risk.
So Chris Waddle with us, and this is the 5:30 kickoff in the Premier League. Commentary every time we have a Saturday night match. You'll hear it with us on 5 Live, watching Son just bundled over by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It was a free kick to Spurs 10 yards inside their own half. Well, I know Manchester United followers will have been talking about what changes should be made by Eric Ten Hag after that unconvincing display in the 1-0 win against Wolves on Monday night. And what he's done, Chris, he's named the same team. Stuck with a winning team. So Onana in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, who was a doubt, and Shaw, then Casemiro with Mount and Captain Fernandes, Anthony, Rashford and Garnacho the front line.
Well, it's difficult, obviously. He wants to play a certain style, we know that. He's got Rashford as a number 9 at the moment, the last 2 games, but you've got to say it's not Rashford's game. He doesn't like his back to play. He's not good at chasing down centre halves. He's not a sort of guy who leads from the front. He likes to be on that left hand side. He's trying to play a very high tempo, and as you saw against Wolverhampton Wanderers, Wolves really ripped them apart at times, and they should have. Wolves would have won the football match.
Yeah, Wolves many more attempts on goal than Manchester United. Manchester United only 3 shots on target in that match. Here's Shaw on the left hand side, just went shoulder to shoulder out there on the far side. Shouts from the south stand to our right, but Manchester United off and running with Mason Mount, the new Manchester United number 7. Now to Garnacho on the left, and he cuts into the penalty area. Good trickery, low shot from the angle, but Vicario is able to drop down to his left, the Spurs goalkeeper, and catch it.
Well, you'd probably say, John, defensively, you would say Porro is better equipped as a wing back, with another centre half playing behind him in a 3, but he's playing him as a right back. And we just saw there Garnacho get at him, and I think they're going to get Lloyd Joy now. I just wonder if it crosses his mind during this game, Ten Hag, about getting Rashford out there against him.
Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. They're also underway, by the way, in the Ireland-England match in Dublin in the World Cup warm-up, so we'll keep you posted on that. It is Ireland 0, England 0 in the very early stages. World Athletics Championships are underway in Budapest as well. We'll be making regular visits there. Lots of coverage as well, by the way, and commentary over the course of the next week in the evenings on 5 Live Sport, and the 100 continues on Sports Extra. But here, the Premier League on 5 Live, 0-0, Tottenham all in white against Manchester United, red shirts, black shorts and black socks on a lovely evening, actually, a warm August afternoon stroke evening, as Spurs come forward with Udogi, one of the new signings. He's the Italian under-21 international who was actually signed last year but went out on loan back to Italy, to Udinese, and now here he is, chosen by Ange Postecoglou for what is his competitive home debut, having played last week. Udogi as left back, and the ball bounces into midfield where Sarr, who's come into the side today for Skip, and now the ball to the edge of the penalty area. Maddison was after it, but it was just cleared away on the edge of the box with Casemiro, who did the work there, and then Bruno Fernandes in a challenge has just taken a knock and has stayed on the ground, so Bruno Fernandes is down. Manchester United coming forward, and Garnacho is forced to play it back to Lisandro Martinez, who is going to see the ball out of play because Fernandes is still down.
50-50 with Porro now. I don't know if Fernandes thinks his leg was a little bit high. They get the benefit of a replay here. No, to me they just play the ball, and yeah, he might have slightly caught him, but he's not raised his studs, has he? No, he's just went in. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50 at ground level.
Yep.
Ball was on the ground.
For me it is, but we've heard the day, and you've seen over the last week or so some strange decisions.
Well, that would be a strange one if anything comes out of that.
Yes.
But obviously concern here for Bruno Fernandes. And actually, it wasn't a full-blooded 50-50 either. The Porro kind of pulled out of it, didn't he?
I don't think either one of them is, to be fair, but let's hope he's all right.
Maybe an ankle, maybe something like that. Maybe an ankle.
His knee up. It's one of them. So going a little bit loose.
So an early stoppage and there are players, Manchester United players, the medical staff gathered around Bruno Fernandes, who is sitting up down there, and he's looking quite perky, and I think he's going to get back up to his feet in a moment or two.
I don't think there's anything. I think Man United players from here are asking the referee why you're not doing something about that, and I'm sorry, but that was a 50-50.
Yeah, Eric Ten Hag is on the edge of the coaching area. In fact, he's standing just outside it, in between that and the edge of the pitch. Very summery dress for him today, long sleeve. It's all sort of khaki beige from him, white trainers on. Bruno Fernandes walks to the side of the pitch. There's a little shake of the head from him, and Bruno Fernandes just talking to the fourth official down there as well about the challenge that he received. But play continues. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, and Bruno Fernandes is still waiting to come back onto the pitch. So Manchester United currently playing with 10 men as Anthony puts in a challenge on the halfway line. Now here is Mickey van der Ven, who loses out to Anthony, and Anthony, bleach blonde hair, the Brazilian, comes in field, plays it to Garnacho on the left hand side. Garnacho now looking for the overlap from Luke Shaw, but Luke Shaw finds the challenge coming in on him to block it behind for a corner to Manchester United after Porro put in the challenge. Corner from the left.
It was a timely challenge. They need to get it right, and it's a corner. Luke Shaw's going across the take, but Man United there on the counter attack, and I think this is what we're going to see in the game a lot today. How can use the ball well on the break.
So Luke Shaw just wanders across there to take it. One or two things being thrown down from the stand at him. I think scrunch up bits of paper, actually. Yes, it is. It's actually the mosaic, isn't it, from the welcome to Ange Postecoglou. So Shaw with a corner. It's a deep one to the back post. Varane with a header, and Vicario just not 100% sure about that. It did look from our great viewpoint here that it was dropping onto the roof of the net, but Vicario, very tall, 6'4" plus, jumped up, hands above the crossbar, and actually got a touch to give away what is a cheap corner, really.
It is, John, I agree with you. He didn't, no need to, but he wasn't sure. He definitely touched it.
This is Guillermo Vicario, Tottenham's new goalkeeper at the start of this season, with Hugo Lloris out of the picture. Corner then to be taken by Mount, a deep one to the back post. Varane underneath it again, but could only head it wide and high, and it is a goal kick to Tottenham. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. We'll have more on all of the earlier happenings, more interviews at half-time in this match, but Manchester United, Wan-Bissaka groans from the home supporters as Rashford is strongly challenged, centre field by Bissouma. It's played downfield for Son to chase, but Varane just glides across and is able to play it back to his goalkeeper, his new goalkeeper, Onana. Spurs brought on all of the various summer signings to say hello before the start of the match as Rashford is caught offside, and it's a free kick to Tottenham, 10 yards inside their own half. Also full time now in that Scottish League Cup second round tie that went to extra time, and it has finished Airdrie 3, Ross County 4. I'm not sure if we actually got a full time, did we, on the Portsmouth-Cheltenham match?
0-0.
It did finish 0-0. So Casemiro for Manchester United as they go back into their own half. Yeah, there seemed to be a feeling that maybe Garnacho would miss out today. Rashford might move back to a wide position. Maybe Sancho would come into the team. But Erik ten Hag has said, well, you've won the first match. Let's see what you can do here. As Mason Mount plays it forward and it bounces out of play on the halfway line. Mason Mount, who had just 68 minutes on Monday night against Wolves. But he's got the number 7 heavy shirt for Manchester United. The number 7, Chris.
It is a heavy shirt, isn't it? But he hasn't had the greatest of starts. It takes a while though. People think it's quite easy to move football clubs. It's not. We're going to a massive football club from a big football club, so expectations are high. But it takes some time, and I think he's playing a little bit deeper than what is his best position, I'll be perfectly honest. Yeah.
So Manchester United take this throw and go back to Varane on the edge of the penalty area. Some early scoring in Dublin. Ireland 7, England 3 in the early stages. As Onana with the playing the ball from the ground that he's built a great reputation on, the former Inter and Ajax goalkeeper, played in the Champions League final last season. That's a poor pass from
just look a little bit
Romero, passed it straight out of play past Van der Ven.
They started very bright, didn't they, Tottenham? I thought the first 5-6 minutes, and just on 12 minutes now, and they've lost the rhythm. They're giving the ball away cheaply. Man United, they're playing a lot higher and winning it back higher.
Yeah, that was a really odd pass, wasn't it, from Romero? It's almost as if here's Anthony now attacking towards the edge of the penalty area. Rashford takes it on. Goalkeeper comes out, makes a very good blocking save at the feet of Marcus Rashford. Got enough on it, it deflected up, but took all of the pace off it, and Tottenham have been able to get it away. In fact, there's a foul on Bissouma now. Bruno Fernandes leaning into him, and a free kick to Bissouma in the Tottenham left back area. Well, that was excellent from Rashford, and Anthony sort of fell into the path of Rashford. He was in like a flash, but the goalkeeper sliding out blocked it, I think, with his right arm.
Yeah, he did well. Great change of pace, gets away from Romero, and he sticks his right arm up Vicario, and just great block, and it goes away. But I think Man United the last 5 minutes have really got Tottenham pushed right back. They're giving the ball away cheaply at the minute, Tottenham. But that's how the manager wants to play. He wants them to take risks, be confident on the ball. He wants everybody to look for it. But at the minute, there's no rhythm there.
Well, Chris, that's already, I think, 2 shots on target for Manchester United. So that's already well ahead of schedule compared to what they did against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Monday. And Erik ten Hag has, it would appear, has said to them, go out there and show what you really are, not what you were against Wolves.
And the thing with Tottenham is, it's getting Maddison and the front 3 on the ball. We've not seen them. Maddison and the front 3 have not really touched the ball. It's all been the back 4, the 2 sitting midfield players, and the goalkeeper who's had a lot of the ball.
Yep, not said Richarlison's name during the commentary yet, I don't think. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Throw-in to the visitors, halfway inside the Tottenham half. Fernandes wins the challenge against Bissouma, then plays it outside of the boot down the line to Rashford. Rashford now into the penalty area, overlap from Wan-Bissaka, pulls it back. Garnacho with a shot that is blocked by Romero, still inside the penalty area after it ricocheted away over to the far side, and actually it's been played away by Sarr. And now Kulusevski on the right hand side, he's not been involved yet either. Kulusevski coming infield on his left foot in his orange boots, and then back to the halfway line to Bissouma. So 0-0. But Manchester United certainly in these very opening exchanges played almost 15 minutes actually with all of that stoppage time for the Fernandes injury. Manchester United certainly the more enterprising team, and There's been a challenge on Udogie, who has stayed down. That might have struck the arm there of Luke Shaw, but it's come out to Sarr, and now Shaw's out of position, and Kulusevski takes it on and into the penalty area on the right, and Martinez is able to come across, delayed, and that meant Martinez could block it behind for a corner.
Well, Kronetsky, he's got nothing in his head what he's going to do. He wants to get on his left foot, we can see that, but as soon as Martinez sort of says, go, I'm pushing you right, what are you going to do? He's just run out of ideas. And it's a very easy solving a defensive problem by giving it away for a corner, but Tottenham need a lot more from Maddison in the front three.
Well, he had lots of options there, Kulusevski.
Yeah, but he didn't look confident driving down in that box with the ball.
Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. BBC 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and corner from the right. Tottenham's first corner in the Premier League here at the home stadium this season. Swung into the near post. Sarr was underneath it. Two Tottenham players actually went for it, Van der Ven and Sarr, and it was headed up, I think, by Sarr in the end, well wide of the near post for a goal kick. So no threat on Onana's goal there. I'm sure there will have been a lot of talk about Harry Kane. I have to say, Chris, as I mentioned, when I came out of White Hart Lane Station, the first thing I saw was the mural of Harry Kane. He's one of our own. Onana's pass out from the back, Richarlison almost cut that out, and Manchester United sweeping it forward, but Christian Romero threw himself feet first and was able to block it. No sign just yet of this exciting, enterprising football that everyone's expecting to see under Ange Postecoglou, but Manchester United have made the better start to the match. And there's a good ball down the line. Kulusevski now against Martinez again, and Kulusevski plays it off the shins of Martinez for another corner from the right hand side.
He's got to have a bit, he's got a trick. Why is he not using it? He's running up against Martinez. Martinez is backpedaling. He's not dominating him, and he's letting him basically, that's twice in a row he's got behind Luke Shaw. He's no end product. Doesn't look confident on the ball when he gets in that area.
Maddison wanders across to take this. One of the big signings of the summer, James Maddison, the new number 10 here. £40 million of transfer fee after his 5 years at Leicester. Maddison with the outswinging corner. Varane is underneath that for Manchester United to head it well clear of the penalty area. The ball runs directly towards Erik ten Hag, who stands on his own, as you have to this season, on the edge of the technical area. Tottenham take up possession again, playing from right to left. Bright sunshine on the gleaming see-through roof of the still quite new stadium as Romero passes the ball out towards Kulusevski on the right-hand side. Sarr makes a run, and then Kulusevski goes back to Romero on the halfway line, and he just shifts it forward, just shuffling forward with the ball. Rashford comes across, so actually Sarr is used, the tall Senegal World Cup player, played against England in Qatar, if you remember, in the last 16. This is only his 6th start for Tottenham. Pape Sarr, the 20-year-old. Here is Bissouma now carrying the ball on. Challenge came in from Casemiro, and it is a free kick, says referee Michael Oliver. Just slightly mistimed from Casemiro. Free kick Spurs.
Yeah, I like Bissouma. He didn't have the best of seasons that he came from Brighton. I thought he was excellent there, and he's obviously got the trust and the faith of the manager, and I think he could be a big player for Tottenham. He's technically brilliant.
Yeah, he's been the Brighton departure who hasn't really done it
exactly
yet. But as you say, Chris, still early in a difficult season for him to come into, with everything that happened with Tottenham last season. Maddison then with the free kick. No, he couldn't get this one right, unlike that free kick that he hit in at Brentford last Sunday. It's bounced to Son though on the left hand side. Son up against Anthony, and Maddison's ended up falling to the ground as he was shoulder to shoulder with Garnacho, but the referee Michael Oliver says the ball had gone and it was already through for a goal kick. Spot of news from John Southall, who was at the Fulham Brentford match at Craven Cottage earlier. He tells us that Marco Silva post-match has confirmed that Fulham and Al Hilal have agreed terms for the sale of Alexander Mitrovic. It's thought it's a 3-year deal and a fee in the region of £50 million. So Alexander Mitrovic, as has been widely flagged up during the course of the summer, is leaving Fulham. That'll be a loss. That's
leave Fulham.
Yeah, for Fulham.
That could where you're looking at probably finishing mid-table, John. Now you're looking at bottom 6 for me, bottom 7.
And another player off to Saudi Arabia. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Spurs with the ball halfway inside their own half. A massive paper aeroplane is almost in the middle of the Tottenham half. The rest of them so far haven't reached the playing surface. Up towards the halfway line where Udogie slipped actually and then put in a challenge which was a foul on Casemiro, and it's a free kick to Manchester United 10 yards inside the Tottenham half.
Udogie's not had a great start to his home career at Tottenham. He played very well at Brentford last week, I thought, but today he looks very nervous.
Yeah, well, big moments these. Signed under Conte, playing under Postecoglou for Tottenham, the left back, Destiny Udogie. Ball's played forward for Manchester United. Rashford sets himself to shoot, but the cover was there from Mickey van der Ven, the signing from Germany, from Wolfsburg, young Dutchman, Dutch under-21 international. He's blocked it out for a corner to Manchester United from the right. A ball is thrown down from the stands. Bruno Fernandes has already picked one up off one of the cones, I think, or the ball boy had given him one. Yep. So Fernandes to take this, right arm raised, corner from the right-hand side. In it comes to the near post, headed away, comes out to Anthony, who tried to hook it back to Bruno Fernandes, got it all wrong. Ball played downfield, and Onana's almost in the centre circle, the Manchester United goalkeeper, even though Kulusevski was there, and Onana pumps the ball forward. What a brilliant pass that is to Garnacho, who's got some space here, and Garnacho pulls it across, but Van der Ven was in the middle and able to clear it away. Well, he was given the big build-up, Onana, about what he might be able to do with the ball at his feet, and that is a brilliant example.
Well, that's been the best pass of the game. What is it? Around 60, 70 yards, diagonal, right to his feet, and they should have made more of it. Wasted opportunity.
Not only that, Kulusevski wasn't far away from him, and as I say, he was not far short of the centre circle, the Manchester United goalkeeper. You didn't get that from David De Gea. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Remarkably, De Gea is still available as the ball is played across the edge of the 6-yard box. I know there was obviously talk of Bayern Munich this week, but that's not materialised. And Spurs, don't mention Bayern Munich, Chris, I told you about that.
No, you cannot say that.
Udogie now in the left back area. In comes the challenge from Anthony, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Spurs. I wonder how many of the Tottenham fans tried to tune into that last night just to have a look. Handkerchiefs at the ready. Throw-in by Udogie. Then Richarlison slides in, goes to ground, comes out for Tottenham. Maddison might have been fouled, he was, but play continues. Son did well. Richarlison, though, is shrugged off the ball by Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka now to Fernandes through the middle. Bruno Fernandes, nice ball, slightly behind Garnacho. Chris is saying offside. Play continues. Garnacho back to Bruno Fernandes, who goes for the Rabona, and then the header from Rashford. And if it had ended up in the net, it wouldn't have counted.
I don't think it would have.
It would have been offside. The flag went up.
Brilliant, wasn't it, Fernandes?
Imagine if they scored from that. It had been disallowed.
That was
offside.
Quality by, got to say,
the Rabona.
Fernandes, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Spotted him out. He should hit the target, by the way.
What vision that is.
He's offside as well. But he should hit the target anyway.
Yeah, so don't need to make a note of that. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. That, however, is the highlight so far. You love that sort of thing, Chris.
Oh yeah, bit of skill,
bit of imagination.
Yeah.
Bit of flair.
I've got to say, Rashford started the game very poorly for 10 minutes, and he's come into it now, and he's looked sharp and lively. But you look at the white shirt of the centre forward of Tottenham, and I've got to say, very disappointed.
Yeah, Richarlison just hasn't happened from here. Hasn't happened from here so far. 3 goals in all competitions last season. Actually saw him score twice on his Champions League debut here, but just 1 goal in 28 Premier League appearances for Tottenham so far. Manchester United coming forward, short as well, cuts the ball right back to the edge of the area to Fernandes, but Sarr was in position, Bissouma was in position to block it away to the halfway line. So Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. BBC 5 Live, the 5:30 Premier League Saturday match. Anthony gets the ball down near the right corner of the penalty area, back to Wan-Bissaka. Going to go to Dublin in a moment, but the ball is played in by Casemiro straight at Bissouma on the edge of the box. Tottenham could break here. Bissouma passes it, asking a lot of Son. Son in a race with Varane, and Son got there first, and Son now beat Varane, who was pulling him back there, but Son persists, plays it square to Sarr. Now Kulusevski, right side of the area, low left foot shot, and Nana's able to drop on it, too close to the goalkeeper, and Richarlison in the middle is saying, what about me? How is an option?
You've got to shoot from where they are. Great bit of Son showing tremendous pace down his left against Varane, who backs off. After that, it's a great bit of play by Tottenham, and when it comes to brilliance, he's did the right thing. He's got on his left foot, he's trying to aim for that far post, he's not hit it well enough. I can't see why Richarlison's moaning about that.
Ireland were in front against England, last I mentioned it. James Burridge is monitoring it.
Still the same scoreline, 7 points to 3 to Ireland. John Bondiaki with the score, lovely offload from Van der Fleer, Omani with the break, and Aki on the shoulder. England cut right into, far too easy. Ireland leads 7-3.
Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, but that was the best we've seen from Tottenham so far.
Yes, definitely. It's the first time they've really looked built with a purpose, but they are missing. I know we can't mention his name, but we are mentioning a certain guy.
Yeah. The record scorer took Jimmy Greaves' record last season. Oh, lovely skill from Rashford. I'm not sure how he did that. Change of feet, little flick, and he's away from Van de Ven, then plays it across. And now, with a chance, Garnacho, it's deflected, and he was wrong-footed. Vicario, the goalkeeper, but the ball bounced away in the other direction. Wide.
Handball of Porro, I think.
And they're saying to the referee...
I don't think it is. I think he's shot. I think his hand's down by his side. We are, look, it's... he can't... Romario, I mean, I've seen these given, by the way, but for me... Well, I've seen them given.
Well, it's a very close quarters. What's that? A yard and a half? And the shot, it goes up, and Romero's arm is slightly away from his body. It's bounced behind, and
he's listening. I think it's
there's a discussion going on.
I think there's a fair chance we'll get this.
VAR having a look. It's Craig Pawson who's watching in the studio at Stockley Park. I mean, it's close, but now they've gone to it. Now they're looking at the pictures.
Ball to hand out. It's not. He hasn't delivered. It's just your action in it. Look, he goes to block it. His hand's bound by his side. It's hit him. I mean, he's not put his hand up to block it. Look,
Romero's leaning back.
Yeah, well done.
It's a corner. Yeah,
well done. Yeah. You're not the refereeing in the championship next week. Well,
the last man who managed Manchester United is having the last man who refereed Manchester United is having the weekend off with the rest of the officials, and now Shaw's waiting to take this corner, and everyone's cottoned on to the pieces of paper or card that were used for the big mosaic before the match. I mean, they've been raining down on that corner. Luke Shaw's ignoring them, and Shaw's waiting, but here's one now, just lands at his feet as he's waiting to take this, and he's having to kick it away.
I think we understand a bit of fun, but this is going too far, isn't it?
And here's another one, just as Shaw's waiting to come up, but Shaw does come up. The outswing to the edge of the 6-yard box. Casemiro got his head to it, actually, deflected though, then headed away by Romero. Comes out, nodded back in across the edge of the penalty area by Mount, and then Garnacho is being forced to run away with the ball, and Udogie played it off him. Out of play for a throw into Tottenham.
You can see what the crowd want. They want to see a lot of effort, and they want to see Tottenham on the ball and passing it around, and they want to get excited.
But it's very, very early days for Ange Postecoglou. Made quite a faltering start to his Celtic career before the results came and the trophies followed. Here's Richarlison for Tottenham on the right-hand side. Richarlison goes for the early cross, but a slip by Sarr in the D, right on the edge of the D, meant that Varane could clear, not under pressure. Fernandes has done well there, but he's been fouled, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. They don't agree with that one. The home supporters, they feel that Bissouma got the ball, but I think he got Fernandes as well. It's a free kick to Manchester United.
There's some great battles going on around the park, isn't there? I've got to say Man United are slightly the better team. I feel like Hotspur coming up to 30 minutes, not far off. I think Man United have just shaded it for me.
Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Spurs' last home win against Manchester United was in 2018, and actually that was at Wembley when they were still playing there. So they've not beaten Manchester United in the new stadium in 4 attempts, which would be That would be a handy way to start for Ange Postecoglou. But as Chris Waddle says, Manchester United have been the better side. Clever pass into the penalty area to Rashford, bounced away from him, and Spurs had players all around Rashford, and they've come out with the ball. And Maddison himself has come out with the ball and has carried it into the centre circle. And he's given it to his left, to Udogie. And now Son on the left-hand side. Spurs pouring forward. Ball played back in. Shot from the angle from Sarr. Saved by Onana. Comes back to him. And he couldn't sort his feet out. And the ball bounced back to Onana. Flowing football from Tottenham.
First time we've seen Maddison involved as well. He comes to turn the pace. Gets it out of this wing for Son. And you've got to say there, Sarr hits it well. The goalkeeper makes himself big. Doesn't know a lot about it. Hits him rather than he makes the save.
Yeah, that was an interesting call from Ange Postecoglou today. The two changes he made, Porro coming in for Emerson Royal at right back, but also Sarr instead of Skip in midfield. And Sarr showing there that he can get forward from playing alongside.
In, John.
Yeah,
I think Skip, we know, sits in front of the back four and he puts good shift in, but Sarr's got a little bit more going forward.
5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. At half-time we'll hear from Jurgen Klopp. We will hear from Marco Silva. So Alexander Mitrovic is off to Saudi Arabia. And we will be live at the World Athletics Championships from our team in Budapest. It's actually an All About Athletics podcast out now. Latest offering from BBC Radio Sport. And Steve Cram is the first episode of that All About Athletics via BBC Sounds. That's where you'll hear the Women's World Cup final preview as well, by the way. That is out now. It's on there, BBC Sounds, ahead of the big day in Sydney tomorrow. Our team there. I hope they're tucked up in bed now. Juliet Ferrington and co. preparing themselves for what could be an epic day's broadcasting live from inside Stadium Australia. So listen out to that from 10 o'clock in the morning, and then kick off at 11. Ball is back with Vicario, the Tottenham goalkeeper, who clears up towards Son, who heads it in field. Ball is driven forward by Martinez to pick out Anthony. Anthony now rolls it in to Rashford. Rashford pulls it back. Bruno Fernandes. Brilliant pass from Rashford, right on the spot, but the defender was there to block it. Anthony goes for a curler from the right, in the corner of the box, but didn't get enough on it, and it curled away beyond the far top corner.
Yeah, brilliant spot by Rashford for Fernandes on the edge of the box, wasn't it? Anthony's a little bit ambitious with that one from his corner, 18-yard box, trying to bend it in the far top corner. But it's a good game. It's quite open. Both teams want to play on the front foot.
Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. And here is Udogie, and then Son slides in Wan-Bissaka, and it's a free kick. Must have got a bit of the ball. There's Ange Postecoglou coming. Oh, and it's been well, there we are. The players know, they've been told. Wan-Bissaka stood in front of the ball. Tottenham were trying to take the free kick, and that now, well, it always has been, but that's one of the things that they're cracking down on, Chris. That's an instant yellow card, and that's what he got, Wan-Bissaka, for that.
Good. There's a few things they should crack down on.
Well, this time last week, or a little bit later on, Tonali was getting a yellow card, having just produced his man of the match performance. Eddie Howe substituted him, thought it'd be nice for him to get the ovation. Newcastle winning comfortably at the time. He got yellow carded for delaying coming off the field. Newcastle tonight. What a game that is already this season. Manchester City against Newcastle. We'll have coverage of that during 6:06. But here's Varane at the back, who was almost dispossessed halfway inside his own half, just about dragged the ball away from the challenge. And Manchester United playing it out from the back. Wan-Bissaka low and forward towards Varane, who's almost on the right wing, actually. And then Rashford back centrally to Casemiro, into the centre circle to Mason Mount. Again in that deeper position, Mason Mount. Luke Shaw arriving on the left-hand side, and then Mason Mount again with a touch. Mason Mount bringing a little more Champions League winning experience to Manchester United, alongside another one, Casemiro, with all of his Champions League winners' medals in central midfield. Wan-Bissaka now up towards Bruno Fernandes, and then Bruno Fernandes passes it long from the halfway line, but didn't get that one right, and it bounces through to Vicario.
No, I think there's a lot of players who we want to see on the ball. I think Fernandes has been on it a lot. Rashford's came into the game definitely, but we haven't saw enough of Maddison. We haven't saw enough of Son. Definitely haven't saw enough of Mason Mount. Not really touched the ball at all.
And Maddison's actually come and collected the ball.
Yeah, he wants to get involved. You can see that he wants to get on the ball, but you don't want him in the back four.
No, which is almost where he was. Maddison collecting that ball and giving it to Van der Ven, Mickey Van der Ven. Son was offside, so it's a free kick to Manchester United. Less than 10 minutes to go to half time. Still Ireland 7, England 3, and we'll have more on all of the earlier stories at half time with Mark Chapman. Extraordinary score in League 2 where it finished Wrexham 5, Swindon 5, and I'll tell you in the second half when the lines are open for 6:06. Chris Sutton alongside Robbie Savage for that, after Chris was at for Liverpool alongside Ian Dennis for our earlier commentary. We will hear from Jurgen Klopp at half-time. Here's Wan-Bissaka rolling it forward towards Rashford. Now to Anthony on the right-hand side, into the full-back position, then turns back onto his left foot. Thought he might have whipped the cross in there. Wan-Bissaka back to Anthony again, and then Anthony knocks it further back towards Casemiro. The Brazilian Casemiro to the Brazilian Anthony in the Brazil squad that was named yesterday. Anthony chips it over to the far side to the Argentine, then back to Shaw. Shaw lifts it in. Oh, what a chance! Bruno Fernandes in the middle, heads it over the bar from 5 yards out, and there's no flag from the assistant.
Well, the one Tottenham are looking around, they're looking at the linesman first, but they've got to be looking at who is marking him. It's a lovely bit of play by Man United, a lovely build-up, and he is onside. Definitely onside. And Doggy at the back for me, he's got to go with him. He's just ball watching, and really he's got to score, at least hit the target. Well, 5 yards out.
Oh, that by the length of North London is the chance of the match so far. That should be 1-0 Manchester United, and when Bruno Fernandes watches that back, he'll think, how did I not end up heading that into the net? Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Watch it on Match of the Day tonight, BBC One, or any time on the iPlayer. Kulusevski strong, holds off Shaw, comes centrally. Now Son absolutely whips the ball way over the head of Richarlison, who goes down under a challenge inside the penalty area. And then a foul on Luke Shaw in the left back area, and Richarlison's stayed down after that on the edge of the 6-yard box.
I didn't say anything. We might get the benefit of a replay, yeah, but he's getting up. Shock. Tottenham do carry a threat. Not seen enough of it, I've got to say, but when they do get past that midfield and get at that back four man, they do look threatening. Yeah, there's a slight nudge by Martinez on Richarlison, look, but he just stands his ground. There's nothing in that, so
it is still Ireland 7, England 3 in Dublin. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Chris Waddle here with us for the first time this season, for the umpteenth season with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Once Britain's most expensive footballer. Here is Bissouma turning and giving it back to Vicario on the edge of the box. So Hugo Lloris looks as though he's going to be off, possibly Lazio. The long-time Tottenham goalkeeper and captain, 36 years old now. He's had some shaky moments as Anthony tackles Bissouma, who goes sliding flat on his face in the centre circle, and Anthony protests with as if to say, how could you possibly show me a yellow card for that? And he is booked, and so is Bruno Fernandes for complaining about the yellow card for Anthony. So 2 yellow cards for the price of 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And what's happened here now, as somebody else said something, referee Michael Oliver, he won't stand for that sort of thing. One of the most experienced referees around in world football. He knows when someone's crossed the line, Michael Oliver.
Well, Anthony's was a foul. When he saw the replay, he got it right, spot on. And I don't know why Anthony's moaning. But Fernandes, we've seen him over the last couple of seasons, always arguing at the referee. A little bit of frustration, you can see that. But the new rules are the new rules.
He is now the Manchester United captain. So that whether he feels that gives him extra leeway, but I think Michael Oliver's made it very clear to him there he doesn't have any extra leeway. The former captain, Harry Maguire, he was still talking, away to Michael Oliver, even after they'd spoken for some while. Harry Maguire not named among the Manchester United substitutes today, even though there are two goalkeepers on the bench, Henderson and young Vitek, the Czech. So we'll have to ask later when we speak to Erik ten Hag whether there's anything in that. Van de Ven chipping the ball forward into the penalty area, taken down by Udogie. Son then, square, and a drive hits the crossbar from the arriving Pedro Porro. Smacked the crossbar, stayed out. Now the cross from the right, deflected to the 6-yard box, off the post, and is cleared away by Martinez, and Manchester United's goal survives, 0-0.
Wow, what excitement, you're starting to get it now. Hit the bar and the post in the space of 30 seconds.
Manchester United fortunate there, it was really well struck, the initial shot from Porro, and then when it came back in from the right hand side, hit the upright and bounced fortunately for United for Martinez to clear. Maddison now flicks it forward, and a stretch and a shot is behind from Porro. Pedro Porro again.
Yeah, great ball by Maddison, lovely spot. We'll get the benefit of the replay here. Porro's shot, oh, it's cannoned off the crossbar, goalkeeper nowhere near it, by the way. And then it comes from Sarr. Oh, it's a deflection.
Yeah.
Martinez, is it? No, Shaw. Hit Shaw, hit the post, comes away.
So somehow it is still 0-0. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Fernandes should have scored at one end.
Been enough chances, definitely.
Post and bar hit in the same incident at the other end. It's rather different to some of the football played under Antonio Conte and recent Spurs managers. Here's Wan-Bissaka, then back to Bruno Fernandes, who chips it across the box, but Pedro Porro is able to nod it back to his goalkeeper, Vicario. Another of the new signings, this promising young Italian goalkeeper from Empoli, £17.2 million they paid for him. And Fraser Forster, by the way, back among the substitutes today, who's recovered from an injury. So Vicario, all in light blue. So no Hugo Lloris. So Hugo Lloris, Reguilon, not involved yet, although he has had an injury. And Ndombele, likewise, not involved yet under Postecoglou. No Eric Dyer, which I think is an interesting one. Spence, Tanganga. You know, the Spurs squad is still very large. And here is Sarr bringing the ball forward for Tottenham to Udogie. Son now up against Wan-Bissaka. Then back for Tottenham, centrally again to Pape Sarr. Tall, leggy player, Pape Sarr. Udogie. Back to Son, who just rolls it on down into the full-back position for Bissouma to take this on. Bissouma then low back to Son on the edge of the box. Little ball into Richarlison inside the penalty area, tried to work it back, might bounce to Son, took a couple of deflections, but in the end it's Wan-Bissaka who is able to take charge and on the stretch put it out of play for a throw-in to Tottenham. Manchester United in the main have been the better team, but there have been plenty of promising moments for Tottenham.
They've hit the ball, they've hit the post, and they've had a couple of chances, haven't they, where you're a little better decision could have resulted in a goal, but as you say, Man United have had better possession and looked the more threatening. Half-time
approaching, and all the time we're inching closer to the World Cup final tomorrow morning. 11 o'clock kick-off. Vicky Sparks and Karen Bardsley, your commentary team, as they have been from Australia all the way through the tournament. Here's Richarlison. Richarlison now out to the right-hand side, and Kulusevski shoots left-footed from the angle, but it's straight at Onana. Given the angle, probably best part of 25 yards, but the new Manchester United goalkeeper was able to drop forward and gather it into his chest.
Yeah, he's thought about it, didn't he? He got Anthony running, sprinting down his right wing, down just beside us here, and away he went, but he wouldn't kick it, and Anthony wasn't happy with him.
0-0. Onana playing it out from the back.
It's been quite an open game, John, and you would think there would have been goals because both teams play with risk. They're not frightened to play out from the back. They're not frightened, to one-on-one situations, going back to the goalkeepers, and risky play at times, but it would be goals.
Mason Mount just leaning into Sarr on the far side, just a little bit too much in that. Sarr went down, wins the free kick. Free kick to Spurs on the right. Maddison takes it, goes for it early, cleared away by Martinez, who was sharp, ready for it, and then it's Porro who does well, pulls it back, but a stretch from Romero, couldn't get to it, or at least couldn't get the contact that he wanted. Stretched for all his might, could only head it up in the air, and Richarlison went in to challenge the goalkeeper, Onana, who was able to catch the ball cleanly, unlike against Wolves late in the match on Monday night.
Yes, well, we all saw that. Well, some people didn't see it, obviously.
Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. In the 45th minute, long downfield from the Manchester United goalkeeper, Van de Ven hooks it away. Now Anthony again, Anthony through into the penalty area. Casemiro actually with a run into the box. The defender went with him, and he could only deflect it through to goalkeeper Vicario. So Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. 6:06 to follow tonight, and all of the build-up to the World Cup final will start in breakfast tomorrow morning. Actually, lots of coverage from Sydney. Manchester United taking up possession again, curled into the box. Bruno Fernandes couldn't get there, and it just bounces through to Vicario. So 3 minutes of added time. Thought it might have been more than that with the early Bruno Fernandes injury. But 3 minutes, and Ange Postecoglou has still got his hands in his pockets down there, all in black. You've come dressed as Ange Postecoglou this afternoon. Chris,
we rang each other, texted each other this morning.
Excellent Tottenham thinking, past and present. If I remember rightly, Manchester United was an option for you, wasn't it, at one stage? Didn't never happen.
No.
And that's poor from Bissouma. Carries it forward and then passes the ball straight out of play, probably 7 or 8 yards ahead of Porro, so it's out for a throw into Manchester United. Lots of movement in the stands still, sun streaming down, covering the top 2 tiers on the far side of the stadium from us. And still waiting for the opening goal in added time at the end of the first half. Still Ireland 7, England 3 is the latest score in Dublin. And tomorrow, after the World Cup final, 2 more Premier League commentaries tomorrow. Aston Villa against Everton from 2, and then West Ham Chelsea from 4:30. Both of those matches here on 5 Live, and it's now Ireland 12, England 3. More on that at half time. Tottenham coming through the middle, ball played forward by Udogie in a central position, actually carried the ball all the way to the edge of the penalty area, but in the end it fell to Shaw, who was able to clear it away, and Udogie's now out of position, so Son's got to come back into the left back area. Udogie's trying to get there. Wan-Bissaka across to Casemiro. Casemiro square to the feet of Shaw. Shaw now to Garnacho. Garnacho in field, but Tottenham have got everyone back. Garnacho though sweeps the pass square, 25 yards out. Bruno Fernandes curls it in towards the back post. Garnacho got his head to it, and it glances away out and behind for a goal kick. Chris Waddle.
Well, I've got to say, what this game is lacking is 2 centre forwards, and I didn't want to say that. I was coming to this game hoping that I'd be seeing a lot of goals from other players, but they are missing, both teams are missing number 9s.
Yeah, we don't attract you to London too often, do we? But the temptation of this lured you down. Here's Maddison down the right to Richarlison, but Martinez puts in the challenge, bounces out of play. Michael Oliver gives that as a throw into Tottenham. There's a reaction there from Manchester United as well. Their fans are all round the corner, that corner down there. No sign that I've seen of any further protests against the Glazer ownership, as that continues to drag on from week to week, month to month. And also as well, of course, the Mason Greenwood issue, which Manchester United are dealing with at the moment. Ball played forward for Spurs, but there's the final whistle. There's the half-time whistle. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. And certainly been chances. Early ones for Manchester United, who started the better. And then for Tottenham, Kulusevski, Sarr had that chance. And then the incident when it struck the bar and hit the post as well. And Bruno Fernandes with the best chance with the header that he put over the top, Chris.
Yeah, I would say, looking at overall the way Tottenham finished the last 15, it's probably been a fair result. We expected goals. There's been some great chances. Tottenham have looked quite comfortable, but Man United also. But as I just said 5 minutes ago, there's no number 9s, and this game would have had goals with the players both number 9s played.
So we'll find out in the second half whether either can find a way. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0.
3 Premier League games so far today away from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, all at 3 o'clock. Fulham 0, Brentford 3. Fulham down to 10 men midway through the second half. Tim Ream sent off. Liverpool had Alexis McAllister sent off, but they still beat Bournemouth 3-1, and Wolves had Mateus Nunes sent off as they were beaten 4-1 at home by Brighton. We'll hear from Gary O'Neill during half-time. We'll hear from Jurgen Klopp as well. Let's just get details of that first half in Dublin. Ireland 12, England 3 at the break. James Burridge.
Bit scrappy, Mark, but Ireland on top with 2 well-taken tries. Bundee Aki with the first, dotting down after a lovely break by Peter O'Mahony. Josh van der Fleer with the pop pass, a very soft English defence conceding. And then a minute before half-time, Gary Ringrose, the centre, on the wing, catching a neat cross-field kick from Hansen. England, for their part, well, they've barely fired a shot. Stale, predictable, no penetration. They're losing at the breakdown. Just 1 George Ford penalty. Ireland 12. England 3 at half-time.
The 100 is on Sports Extra this evening if you want that. Oval Invisibles 41 for 1 off 29 balls against Southern Brave in the men's competition. Earlier, Southern Braves women beat Oval Invincibles women to knock them out of the tournament. Trent Rockets did a men's and women's double over Birmingham Phoenix. 6:20, the latest news on 5 Live is with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. Lawyers are representing the families of 2 of Lucy Letby's victims have described the government-announced inquiry into the baby murders as inadequate. They've called for it to be given the legal powers to force witnesses to provide evidence about what happened at the Countess of Chester Hospital. Yesterday, former nurse Lucy Letby was found guilty of murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder 6 others, and she was sentenced on Monday. At least 7 people, including a 6-year-old girl, have been killed in a Russian missile strike in Ukraine. More than 100 others were injured in the attack on Chernihiv in the north of the country. More people have been forced to flee their homes on the Spanish island of Tenerife, where forest fires continue to burn. Officials say 26,000 people have now been forced to leave the areas in the north of the island, where the fire is out of control. And Prince William has wished England's women's team good luck ahead of tomorrow's World Cup final against Spain. In a video alongside his daughter, Princess Charlotte, he says they're sorry that they can't be there in person, but they're so proud of the Lionesses. You'll be able to hear the game live here on 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Goalless between Tottenham and Manchester United at the break. The second half on the way, and then it's 6:06 08085 909 693. Liverpool didn't start brilliantly at Anfield against Bournemouth. The visitors had a goal ruled out already by the time they did open the scoring after just 3 minutes. Alexis McAllister was sent off for Liverpool, a straight red, but Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah and Diogo Jota got the goals. Here is Jurgen Klopp.
So this starting the game was really not what we wanted. You could feel and sense in the stadium, it was a bit, oh my God, what's happening here? But then we found control of the game and did really well and scored really good goals, could have scored more, played really good stuff. And then second half we want to pick up there, and after 58 minutes, we're 10 men, and then it's a 4-4-1 against a chasing team who chased the result, obviously, early in the season, and they are good. They have an idea, a clear idea. They brought strikers, all these high balls. It's difficult to defend that, but we did it, and I like that. And so we got the 3 points, and all good.
Can I just ask you about Alexis's red card? Because there was talk in the commentary box as to whether it was serious foul play or violent conduct, and the conclusion wasn't sure it was either. What did you make of it?
You can see it's the inside of the foot. It's no intensity. It's like the foot goes away. It's not pushing it through. So I think a lot of things which you would think
is that the kind of challenge you'd expect to be overturned?
That's in the moment not my problem. Because I don't want to talk now about that. It's really about the ref saw it, thought that's a red card, and gives a red card.
Jurgen Klopp with Rob Schofield. Match of the day 10:20 tonight on BBC One. Brighton won 4-1 for the second consecutive week, this time at Molineux. Solly March got 2 of those in the second half, and he's been speaking with Will Perry.
Solly, congratulations, brilliant performance from you. Just firstly, how amazing is it to be playing in this Brighton team right now with the type of football that you're producing?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, you want to be playing every week. You know you're going to get chances to score goals, and you're going to get chances to attack and get in the right area. So yeah, everyone wants to be playing every week, and there's lots of competition. So yeah, everyone's chomping at the bit to start games.
Was your jaw on the floor when you saw Matoma do what he did?
Yeah, he does that in training. He just sort of glides past players, and so hard to stop. So yeah, hopefully he'll do it a lot more times this season, and yeah, he's capable of doing that a lot.
I mean, he's a dribbling masterclass, wasn't it?
It was. The ball was stuck to his foot, I think. Players couldn't get near him, so yeah, he's quick, he's strong, he's agile. Yeah, he doesn't get much better than that. What
about you amongst the goals? They're coming thick and fast, 3 for the season now in 2 games. You had a sort of a telepathic relationship with Enciso.
Yeah. I was looking at clips before the game, and the coaches were saying that just time your runs and get in the box and you'll score goals, and it's paid off. So I did it a bit in training in the week, and yeah, it's just the hard work that counts.
Why has Solly March not been in the England squad?
I don't know.
England manager was here today. You couldn't have done more, could you?
No, I just got to keep trying hard and keep doing what I'm doing. If I'm scoring goals, yeah, who knows?
Fulham were beaten 3-0 at home by Brentford, including one of those goals, by the way, came from the penalty spot and also saw Tim Ream sent off. Here's Marco Silva.
It's difficult to talk about something that I cannot see anything there. I saw already 10 times the reaction from our players. They were really surprised, all of them, team and the players around. They were really surprised with something that the referee saw that. I saw the moment there probably 10 times in many angles, all the angles that the broadcast gave us to see, and they cannot see anything there.
And the red card?
Okay, if it's not penalty, it's impossible. The team tried to go in the ball, didn't tackle the player, didn't do anything. The player failed the ball in that moment, and the referee. This is the moment. Apart punish us with the second goal, we were with 10 players without a player for the next week as well. It's really difficult to understand that moment. I don't understand what he saw there.
I know you don't want to talk about Mitrovic, but can I ask you, we believe it's quite close to the move now?
About the situation I can talk, of course. Yeah. I'm not talking about the absence or that, because it's always the same questions about 1 or 2 players they are out, and we didn't lose a game because one player is on. We didn't start with Mitrovic, we didn't start with João that was on the bench, we didn't start with William that was on the bench too, and some more. About Mitro, what I can say that is really close to leave the club. It's an agreement between both clubs. Mitro forced everything, did everything to leave the football club, and of course at the moment is a financial stuff between both clubs. The club decided to accept the offer from other club, and Mitro is in his way to leave the club.
How disappointing is that for you? You know, a player who's been so key to this club on the pitch, off the pitch, kind of forcing his way out, wanting to leave.
Was the decision of Mitro. The players, they can talk about their individual decisions. I'm here to do my job, to defend the club until the last minute that I'm going to be in this football club, and this is my job.
Fulham fans, you might want to talk to Chris and Robbie, 08085 909 693. There's another game later on, 8 o'clock tonight, Manchester City against Newcastle. John Bennett.
Yes, Mark, after a wonderful 5-1 win to open their season, Newcastle will feel they have a real chance to make a statement against the champions. Man City, meanwhile, back at the Etihad for the first time since completing the treble, and then adding the Super Cup on Wednesday, which meant they didn't get back home until 4 a.m. on Thursday, and Pep Guardiola is furious that this game wasn't moved to tomorrow, so Newcastle maybe can take advantage of some tiredness. John Stones and Bernardo Silva are out for City, as well as a long-term absentee Kevin De Bruyne. For Newcastle, likely to be unchanged, despite the fact that Callum Wilson has now scored 12 goals in his last 13 games. City, Mark, could set a new club record of 17 consecutive wins at home in all competitions.
Thank you, John. Ipswich and Leicester both still have 100% records in the Championship. Ipswich won 1-0 at QPR. Leicester beat Cardiff 2-1. Che Adams got an injury time winner for Southampton at Plymouth. Bolton's unbeaten start in League One ended in dramatic fashion against Wigan. Stephen Humphreys and Charlie Wyke both scoring twice for the visitors as they won 4-0. Here's their boss, Sean Maloney.
It's as good as or as an enjoyable day as I've ever had at Wigan. I know we've had some amazing moments, but I think considering what we've been through in the summer, complete change around. I loved seeing the young kids as well, the young players really in one of the hardest atmospheres for us, really go and play. So yeah, it was a really good day. I hope the fans absolutely love every minute of it. My job is Yeah, keep the feet on the ground, stay humble, Bolton are a good side, and get back at it on Monday.
In League 2, Gillingham kept up the only 100% start in that division with victory at Crawley. Game of the day, probably in any division, came at Wrexham, who scored twice in injury time to draw 5-5 with Swindon. In the Scottish League Cup, Rangers made hard work of beating Morton on their way to the quarter-finals. Here's Michael Beale.
Fair credit to Dougie, his players, his staff. I thought Morton came and had a right go today. They were really well organised. They had a plan to get us in certain areas, and I thought they played well also. The teams come and they give it a huge amount of effort, and you can see that the standard of the championship's getting better all the time. We made 8 changes today. Obviously, we're just living day by day at the minute.
So that's what happened with Rangers beating Morton. Elsewhere in the Scottish League Cup, St Mirren 1, Motherwell 0, Livingston 2, Ayr 1, and Ross County needed extra time to beat Airdrieonians 4-3. To the World Athletics in Budapest next. Catherine Merry.
Katarina Johnson-Thompson started the third event of 7, the shot put, in 4th place overall after the hurdles and the high jump. She opened with a shot of 13 metres and 64, which is about 30 centimetres shy of her lifetime best. But the event leader, Anna Hall of the USA, threw a lifetime best to extend her lead. One more putt to come for KJT before the 200 metres at the end of the day. Men's 1500 metres, Josh Kerr, the Olympic bronze medalist, through, along with world leader Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Neil Gawley also through, and Elliot Giles now on track.
You can watch that on the iPlayer and on BBC Television all evening as well, and Catherine will keep us updated here on 5 Live. And once the second half is over at Tottenham, it will be 6:06 with Chris and Robbie. Robbie, what do you want calls on?
Oh, a lot of things, chappers. Obviously, Brighton, magnificent performance today, 4 goals away from. What about Wolves? You know, that the other night, chappers, the penalty decision, obviously there's no after. That has to be a penalty. Howard Webb, you know, I'm fed up with apologies for teams. How many apologies now? Is it any better under Howard Webb than it was under Mike Riley? Obviously, they got hammered today 4-1. You spoke about Ipswich, chappers. You know, Ipswich, you know, Chris won't be happy in the car on the way back from Anfield. Top of the league, 3 wins from 3. Wigan started the season, chappers, -8. They're on 2 points. Sean Maloney doing a great job.
He just said there as well, that's the best day he's had at Wigan, did Sean Maloney.
Chappers, and you, like, against adversity, you know, at times you have to throw the kids in. And as Reading are doing, chappers, you know, their average age today of the team was 21, chappers, and back-to-back wins now for Ruben Sellers' men. It's fantastic, chappers. Listen, looking forward to it. 08085 9096. Now, I've not seen the first half, chappers. Man United, they look lethargic in the week and tired and slow, didn't they?
They look, they did during the week.
What they like today?
They're a bit better today, and really, they probably should be ahead. On Bruno Fernandes missed a header from 5 yards out, although Tottenham had a couple of chances late on. Are there any good kids at Reading?
There was one that went to school with your son, chappers, and your son actually played in the starting 11, the cup fan ahead of him. If you remember.
Yeah, I think they just needed a workman-like clogger. Don't know where he gets that from. And also, if you were at Fratton Park today, I don't know if you've seen this story, Robbie, but it finished Portsmouth 0, Cheltenham 0. But they had to get someone out of the crowd to run the line after both the assistant referee and then the 4th official pulled their calves. So they had to get someone out of the crowd to run the line in the second half. So if you were at Fratton Park, or if you were the person that ran the line, 08085 909 693 to talk to Chris and Robbie. Thank you very much. Who are on the way after the second half at Tottenham, where Chris Waddle and John Murray are, and there's a lot of endeavour and there's a lot of build-up, but there aren't many chances, Chris. And as you said, it's about centre forwards, isn't it? It feels like.
Yeah, and if they don't sort it out, Mark, I've got to say that it could cost them a lot of points early in the season, and you don't want to be chasing the big guns. You want to be up there in the pack, and Rashford. First 10 minutes couldn't get in the game, really, give the ball away a lot. He's come into the game, his movement's been better, but Richarlison for me hasn't had a kick, and you're looking at the bench for Tottenham, there's nothing really he can play down the middle, and it's a problem.
John Murray, all yours.
Thank you very much, Mark. So Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Of course, Rasmus Højlund, the new signing, the new big thing, the young Dane, is out injured at the moment, got this back problem. but I think the feeling was that he'd be available after the first internationals, the qualifiers at the start of September, so we'll see about that. But whether Erik ten Hag is going to try something different, well, it's not going to happen at the start of the second half. Same teams, Tottenham with Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Udogie, the back four, then Papsar and Bissouma in the middle, Kulusevski on the right, Son on the left and Maddison behind Richarlison. Tottenham will get the second half underway presently. Manchester United with goalkeeper Onana, back four of Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez and Shaw, then Casemiro with Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony on the right, Garnacho on the left and Marcus Rashford up front. Still sun shining, still lovely warm day here in North London, and Tottenham get the second half underway and play the ball back to the two central defenders. Dappled sunlight on the pristine pitch here at the Tottenham Stadium, and people still finding their way back to their seats. Lots of empty grey seats actually all around the stadium as the ball is played forward to Wan-Bissaka, who is underneath it, comes down centrally where Bissouma will turn and play it back into central defence. Bissouma was number 38 and he's changed to number 8, which is probably a sign of his intentions this season to be in the first 11, and the early signs have been promising. Another of the Brighton departures, £30 million Brighton paid for him last summer after his 4 seasons there. Amazing, isn't it, that Brighton the conveyor belt continues out of Brighton, and yet they start the season in the way that they have. We heard from Solly March at half-time.
Yeah, brilliant scouting system they must have.
Here is Martinez, who is caught by Richarlison. Martinez was just moving away with the ball, and there must have been the tiniest flick maybe on the ball of his ankle, something like that, and Martinez he's okay, he's back on his feet. Lisandro Martinez, he was a little bit of a doubt for the match actually with an ankle problem, so whether that has just touched the nerve or not, I don't know, but he's on his feet. So the ball back with Onana, who just pulls a foot across the ball and passes it comfortably out to Wan-Bissaka, whose passing field is not so comfortable, and Tottenham very nearly won that back, and Mason Mount had to be sharp, and Manchester United were able to clear. Shaw then to Rashford, who laid it off, but Tottenham, Shaw's out of position now. Spurs break forward, but Kulusevski couldn't keep the pass in field. So Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Ange Postecoglou comes forward, first Australian to manage in the Premier League, all in black shoes as well, shiny, comes to the edge of the coaching area. What do you think he'll have made of that first half of his team in the Premier League at the London Stadium, Chris?
I like the way he sticks to his beliefs, the way he's talked pre-season, the way he's played pre-season.
Tottenham coming forward through the middle, more on that in a moment. Nice change of feet, Udogie does well, then plays it square. Maddison couldn't pick out the pass to the arriving Son, and really there from Maddison, it seemed as though he was going to slip that across, which would have put Son in, but it was intercepted on the edge of the penalty area. And now Manchester United in the red shirts and the black shorts and socks break forward with Wan-Bissaka, but left back Udogie back in position, all in white, slides in to put the ball out.
I like the way they play. I think he's not frightened to play on the front foot. He must look and sometimes think we're a bit vulnerable in areas, but he wants to play a certain way, and he had a lot of success doing it at Celtic, and we know Celtic have always been a good side in Scotland, but he's not backed off anything from coming to Tottenham.
Yeah, treble last season, League and Cup double the season before in his 2 seasons there, and even though there were some uncomfortable moments in the first couple of months when he was Celtic manager, and they lost 7 of his first 17 matches. In fact, in his whole time, they didn't lose at home in the league, Celtic, in the 2 seasons. Here, 0-0, Maddison back towards the halfway line. Maddison weaving downfield, and you could hear the expectation of the crowd growing, but instead Maddison had to turn and give it back. Now though, they're down the right hand side with Kulusevski. Kulusevski to the byline, drives it across, took a deflection across the face of goal, and Sarr! Sarr is there to drive it in the 6-yard box and score Tottenham's first Premier League goal here at their home stadium under Ange Postecoglou, and I'm not sure if he's moved a muscle down on the touchline. He's standing with his arms crossed, almost as if that's what you're supposed to do. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0.
It's a good goal as well, good build-up play. I mean, Garnacho, bit of naive young player, should have cut the lane of the pass out to Kulinecki. and he just pushes it across the goal. Slight deflection, but it's a great finish. Oh, volley. Sarr comes in, doesn't he, at the far post, and that's not an easy chance to put away. That could easily have been high into the crowd. There's a slight deflection from the cross, and he gets a hard volley to it. It's a brilliant finish. Left foot, roof of the net. And you've got to say, Tottenham have come up the blocks pretty quick the second half. What a great finish.
Well, he enjoyed that. This young man, this 20-year-old Pap Sarr, that's his first senior competitive goal for Tottenham, making only his 6th start for the club. And he ran away and punched the corner flag over in the far corner. And there was a reaction from Postecoglou. We're just seeing it now in our little screens here. Nothing too much. Just turned across, clapped his hands, put one arm in the air, and then, as I said, resumed his position standing with his arms crossed. But he made the decision, Postecoglou. Here's Rashford, might get away from Romero on the edge of the box, but Romero recovered. Van der Ven was there as well, and it bounces through to Vicario, who drops on it. But he made that decision, Postecoglou, to play Pap Sarr. Not sure whether we were expecting that.
No, I think Bazuna comes deep and likes to get the ball off the back four. I think he doesn't want two players doing that.
So, goal arrives, but here, Anthony at the other end. Oh, shoots and hits the post. What a shot that was from the right side of the penalty area on his left foot. Hit it really well, and it struck the face of the post and bounced back into the penalty area. So that's a let-off for Tottenham, having just taken the lead. They could easily have been pegged back there, but now here's Son at the other end for Tottenham. The overlap is there, and the cross from Maddison is over both Tottenham players inside the penalty area. This is thrilling stuff now. The memories of that stodgy football that they saw so often last season are being blown away here by Tottenham. Just what they wanted, just what Postecoglou wanted. This is the opening goal.
This is what Tottenham fans want to see. Front foot.
It's through the middle with Richarlison, who runs into red shirts, but it bounces out to goal scorer Sarr. Now Maddison with the outside of his boot to Son. Son back into Udogie. Udogie shot saved by the legs of Onana, and it bounced out. Could have fallen to Richarlison. It didn't. United clear.
Well, I don't know what happened to Man United at half time, but they have not come out the second half. Tottenham, well, he's had a word with them, up the tempo or what, but it's been brilliant for Tottenham since the second half started. Man United got to liven up.
And the Tottenham move that led to the goal, incidentally, do you remember, Maddison was going to take it down the left-hand side, but they changed the focus of attack to Kulusevski, who took it to the byline, as Spurs again to the byline on the left-hand side. Son with a cross, and that's come off Anthony, who was back in there, and it's a corner to Tottenham from the left-hand side. And this is very much Postecoglou football, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what he wants. High tempo, good movement, passing, dribbling. And second half so far, that's what he's getting. Man United, Ten Hag's got 3 subs warming up already.
Maddison, James Maddison, the new vice-captain on his competitive home debut, gets the ovation from all of those supporters in that towering south stand that stretches all the way back right up until those huge rectangular screens. Maddison takes the corner into the near post that Sarr was after again in there. Overhead kick away by Garnacho. Still hasn't completely cleared the danger. Bruno Fernandes is there. Played it back into his own box. Martinez put the challenge in there. He managed to get the ball, clear it, but he put the challenge in on Romero. Shouts from the home supporters. Maddison, lovely footwork. Maddison's still going, and then in comes the challenge on him from Anthony, which blocks it behind. And Maddison stayed down. Romero's still down in the box.
Martinez, his teammate for Argentina, just went out and had a word with him about something.
And a long ball downfield for Manchester United from Shaw and Vicario with 2 Tottenham men down.
I don't know why Maddison stayed down. I think he's looking at a pen as well, but I can see with Mario. He's looking. I could be. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Michael Oliver is talking.
Definitely not Maddison's. He has the challenge. We're getting the benefit of replay.
So it's Romero.
He didn't play the ball, Martinez.
But Romero kicked him, didn't he?
No, he's trying to get his leg across to get the.
We've seen one view
he
of
puts
that.
his leg across to. Oh, he goes for the ball there.
What do you think?
So there's a chance.
Martinez.
There's a chance. That one's definitely not. Look, that's a great challenge.
This is a great challenge. Anthony on Maddison.
Yeah, Maddison. That's fine.
But the initial challenge, which was Martinez stretching for it against Romero.
I think he's got a case on that one. Definitely not Maddison's.
Do you know, I think that's one they'll stick with the referee's decision. I think they'll feel, if Michael Oliver's had a view on that, a clear view. He feels he's had a clear view.
He's playing on it.
Yeah, I think they'll feel that there's not enough there to overturn the referee's decision.
You can see why.
So, lively start to the second half, Chris. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0.
Especially by Tottenham. They've come out the blocks very quick.
You've got that goal that you came all the way to see. Got the first one. Wasn't necessarily expecting to see it from Pap Sarr.
No.
But, as you say, finished it really well in the 6-yard box. Just drove it in as Richarlison got a shove in the back from Martinez there. Martinez, who likes a bit of a dust-up, doesn't he? And that's Argentina against Brazil. Ball played through. Suggestion there that might have been a foul Tottenham's way, but it hasn't been given. And here's Rashford now on the right-hand side. So Manchester United find themselves behind for the first time in the Premier League this season after the 1-0 win on Monday night. Rashford is challenged. It's a free kick. And free kick to Manchester United out on the right flank. They struck a post through Anthony's shot. Fernandes had that a really good chance in the first half, headed over. There were early chances as well for Manchester United. Haven't been able to find a way through. Now they've got to come from behind here. Tottenham leading, but a free kick for Bruno Fernandes, who curls it in towards the penalty spot, and it's headed by Casemiro and saved by Vicario, diving up and to his right to push it over the crossbar. Excellent header from Casemiro.
Yeah, great ball in again, Fernandes. We know he's very good at set pieces, but where's the Tottenham defence? They've tried to hold the line high, hope Man United gamble offside. Flag doesn't go up, it's a header direct. It's a good save. Right hand, strong wrist, pushes it over the crossbar. Corner.
Looks short to take this, angles it short to Bruno Fernandes on the left. Bruno Fernandes curls in, half-headed away for Tottenham, took a deflection. Son is there to hook it further away on the edge of the penalty area. Kulusevski chasing with Wan-Bissaka, who is on a yellow card, and Kulusevski, as they were shoulder to shoulder, goes down, and Michael Oliver was right on the spot there. He sprinted the referee to be with them, and he was decisive there. That was not a free kick.
No, it's not a free kick, and the slight, maybe it's the heel of Wan-Bissaka caught his head, scraped the side of his fair head, but there's nothing in that, no.
Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. First night of the Athletics, just while Kulusevski is down receiving treatment. So our team in Budapest are there. We heard from Kath Merry at half-time on the latest on the heptathlon, but now I think, Kath, the 100-metre heats in progress.
Yes, they are. The British record holder and world leader Zarnell Hughes has comfortably just won the first heat in 10 seconds exactly. And in terms of KJT, she finished with a shot put of 13 metres and 64. She was in 4th place in the heptathlon. She's now moved down to equal 5th. She'll have her last event of the day, the 200 metres, in under an hour's time.
Thank you very much, and lots of coverage and commentary every night this week on 5 Live. BBC Television as well. Ireland 12, England 3 is the latest score in Dublin in the World Cup warm-up match in the Rugby Union. Finished Wales 16, South Africa 52 earlier. Lots of coverage, 5 Live and Sports Extra through the autumn from the Rugby Union World Cup. And the lines are open for 606 with Kulusevski just getting to his feet. Ring to call Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, who are taking your calls on 08085 909 693. You can text 85058, hashtag BBC 606, and the programme tonight will include the latest on Manchester City against Newcastle as well, which kicks off at 8 o'clock. So Kulusevski finally leaves the field, and play will resume with a drop ball back to Manchester United. An unchallenged drop ball. Great noise. Spurs leading 1-0. Shaw plays it through. Bruno Fernandes, low shot, but Vicario down to his left. That was missed on the edge of the box. Bruno Fernandes got away from Van der Ven, but the offside flag was up.
Yeah, well, Romario makes a mess of it, and Van der Ven makes a mess of it, doesn't he? I think he could have took it on. He didn't need to shoot. He could have took it on. He goes to ground, Van der Ven, very easy. Could have took it on a bit more, but he was offside.
He was, wouldn't have counted. Good save by Vicario, though.
Yeah, he's playing well.
Yeah.
He looked very nervous last week at Brentford, I thought.
Much more settled here today. Made a couple of saves, which helps, doesn't it? Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. And we've got just over half an hour to play here in the sunshine in the capital. Maddison wriggles away down the left-hand side, then wriggles away again infield between two Manchester United men, plays it back to Udogie. And now goal scorer Sarr, low pass to the right. Pedro Porro is there. Pedro Porro infield to Kulusevski, onto his left foot, shifts it across, and then a curling effort centrally from Yves Bissouma, which is over the top by 4 or 5 yards, the top right corner as he looked at it.
And I've got to say, John, there's a lot of confidence in the Spurs side, and whether that's through the manager's belief in wanting to play a certain style, the players have reacted to it, and they seem very, very confident.
As the ball is played out by Manchester United, and Porro is adjudged to have fouled Garnacho. No European football for Tottenham this season after their lowest league finish for 14 years.
I think that will help them, John, rebuild.
Yeah, but that as well, without European football, I guess is why Ange Postecoglou was talking about them having too many unwanted players at training. Here's Son now breaking away for Tottenham as they look for a second goal. Varane's in front of him, plays it through, Maddison, back to Son, ran a little wide. Son though, curls it across looking for Richarlison. Martinez headed it down, came out to Bissouma, into the area now from him, drags it back, then a back heel flick to Son. Udogie, near the corner of the penalty area, back to Bissouma, another flick, Udogie's in again, square from him, Son still going, oh, shoots and it's blocked by Shaw. He was waiting for it to open up, and Shaw was able to block the shot in the end.
Wow, I've got to say, this manager's turned Tottenham into the Harlem Globetrotters. They're absolutely great to watch. They're sorry, but brilliant, some of that play, imagination, brilliant. It should have been a goal though. You get nothing but a new. I was told that many years ago. You get nothing but a new, but I tell you what, brilliant football to watch.
Who is that again? Arthur Cox?
Yes.
No, you get nothing for an ooh. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0, but there were oohs and ahs all over the place in there. Flicks and tricks. Bissouma, corner. Really, Son must have thought he was going to score there. Maddison with a corner in from the left-hand side, but that's headed away by Casemiro. And wonder if Antonio Conte is watching somewhere at home in Italy with his brow furrowed. Son square to Bissouma again. Bissouma, Manchester United with two men in front of him, comes back 30 yards out. Sarr out to the right hand side to Kulusevski. It's all Tottenham now. Kulusevski, Ten Hag must be thinking about making a change or two. There are 3-4 Manchester United players warming up, and Tottenham are in the ascendancy here. Kale's up, 1-0 up. Maddison playing it in from the angle, cleared away by Varane. Comes Porro to Kulusevski, then back to Porro, but he can't reach that as the ball runs over the dead ball line. Shaw coming across, and it's a goal kick.
I don't know if Tottenham keep this up. We need that second goal. I've got to say, because Man United have got a threat in them. We know that. They've got the players, they've got the subs warming up. He needs that second goal, Tottenham, but you've got to say second half they've been excellent so far.
But all of these people, we haven't had the crowd figure yet, but of course the stadium full, 50-60,000, and they love the sight of this. They love this glimpse of what this Ange Postecoglou team might be able to do. As Udogie is yellow carded for running away with the ball when Michael Oliver had given a free kick to Manchester United, so that was almost like asking for a yellow card.
Yeah, well, he is, and well, as you say, John, this is what Tottenham fans want to see. You know, if they lose 3-2 or whatever, I think obviously they want to win, but as long as they get entertained.
Antonio Conte will be sitting there. I told them to work. I wanted you to work. As the ball is played forward for Son down the left. Son keeps it in play. Son now. Little ball into the penalty area. Maddison stretches, gets there first, gives it back to Son. Son did well, finds Bissouma. Bissouma turns Casemiro into the area. Low shot, wide of the post as Nana dives down and allows it to go wide.
Well, he's been different class today. He's, you look at him under the previous managers, nobody wanted him to play. This new manager obviously likes the way he plays. He's technically brilliant. I'm not sure he can finish though, but as a game last week and this week, he's been outstanding.
Just for Bissouma, 28 appearances last season as they went from Antonio Conte to Christian Stellini to Ryan Mason at the end of the season. His first match back in charge, Ryan Mason, in April, was the 2-2 draw here between Tottenham and Manchester United. Here is Kulusevski trying to lay it through to Porro. Shaw's in there. Manchester United been really stretched here. Shaw's been able to get it away though to Mason Mount. He's gone very quiet in the game. And Tottenham, Sarr got there first ahead of Rashford. And yes, Eric Ten Hag is going to make 3 changes. So Manchester United will be bringing on Dalot as right back. Christian Eriksen is coming on as well. And I have to get him a feet to see who that is. Jadon Sancho is the other player who is coming on. Anthony on the right. Anthony into the penalty area, trying to find a way past Van der Ven, but he can't. And Van der Ven comes out with the ball, passes it up to Richarlison, who wins the throw-in off Varane for Spurs.
Well, I think you'd take the 2 wide men off and probably Mason Mount.
So triple change coming up now. But there has been a red card in the Ireland-England match in Dublin. James Burridge is following it.
History repeating itself for England. This time Billy Vunipola has been sent off. Originally a yellow card, it's been upgraded to a red card in the bunker for a shoulder to head on Andrew Porter, the Ireland prop. No mitigation, so Vunipola, just like Owen Farrell a week ago, sent off a red card. England will have 2 hearings next week, 1 for Farrell, 1 for Vunipola, and to compound things, James Lowe has just scored Ireland's 3rd try in the corner from a cross-field kick. England in all sorts of problems now. Billy Vunipola, a red card in Dublin.
Well, that is another blow for England's World Cup preparations. There'll be lots and lots of talk about that over the course of tonight, tomorrow and into Monday. Rugby Union Weekly will have all of the discussion on BBC Sounds. Now, while that was happening, Dalot has come on for Wan-Bissaka. Also, Anthony and Garnacho have been replaced. So the 2 wide men up front for Manchester United. Here is Shaw, play back underway. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Lines open for 606, 08, 085, 909, 693. Sarr strongly runs the ball away. He's up against Christian Eriksen now, who went with him, the former Tottenham man. Son delivers it low into the penalty area on the left-hand side. Udogie is there. Udogie up against Varane, went for the backheel flick, but that hit Diogo Dalot, and he cleared it, but Bruno Fernandes has just headed it straight out of play.
I've got to say, Tottenham would be an excellent second half, and I'm not taking any away from Tottenham's performance, the tempo, the way they move the ball, the confidence in them. Man United have been terrible since half-time.
So if Christian Eriksen is on, Chris, I guess they're looking to try and get Mason Mount involved further down the field, and it'd be interesting to see where Sancho's
playing on the left.
Yeah, he was on the left, yeah, a la Garnacho.
On the left. Fernandes is actually playing a little bit more right, and Mason Mount's gone into that Fernandes role, basically, off Rashford.
And Marcus Rashford, have we seen him in the second half?
No, I don't think he's a centre forward. I know a lot of people think he is. I don't think that. I think he's best on his wing, on the wing on his left-hand side.
Kulusevski curling it in from the angle, and Richarlison threw himself at it on the edge of the 6-yard box, just over his head, and Onana was able to catch. Well, that's certainly a discussion point for Robbie and Chris on 606, 08, 085, 909, 693. What of Marcus Rashford, who should be playing through the middle for Manchester United? Martial's on the bench, and I know that Jadon Sancho played as a false 9 at times during pre-season for Manchester United. Spurs going to make a couple of changes as well. Perisic and Ben Davies are going to come on for Tottenham. That'll be the first 2 substitutions from Postecoglou. Still a narrow lead, 1-0, Pap Sarr's goal in the 49th minute, and we're into the final quarter of the match now, past the midway point of the second half.
I think Udogie's I think he's had a touch of cramp at times at left back, and
he's covered a lot of ground.
Krenitsky will probably come off this right hand side just to put a bit of energy. Perisic.
Pedro Porro blocks the ball out of play. Just see if we'll see the Tottenham changes now. Well, we will. And it is Udogie, as you said, Chris. Ben Davies coming on to replace him. He's yellow carded as well, which might be part of the thinking.
But looks a good player. I know he went on loan last year, as you said. They bought him and sent him back to Italy, and played very well at Brentford. Had a bit nervous first half, but second half looked good.
Yeah, Destiny Udogie, after his competitive home debut, they've enjoyed what they've seen from him. And Richarlison off.
Son's going number 9.
Well, we've seen that before. And Perisic coming on the left-hand side, the experienced Perisic. Well,
I think
Tottenham.
It's been proved today. I think a lot of aspects of the sides looks good. Tottenham, there's a lot to work with, but they do need a number 9. There's no doubt about that.
For Manchester United, better team early on in the match. That big chance that Fernandes had with a header. Remember, Anthony's shot against the post. That was in the second half, just after Tottenham had taken the lead. Casemiro header as well saved by Vicario.
So they had a good tempo about them, John, first half, Man United. They looked threatening, they moved the ball quicker than Tottenham. They looked the better side, but and they've come out second half, and they kind of seem to up the tempo, and you've got to say Tottenham have.
Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds as well if you're on the move. World Cup final live from Sydney in the morning, 11 o'clock kickoff. It's on BBC television as well. You can listen to the radio, the 5 Live commentary via the red button as well. All sorts of ways to follow it in the morning. And then 2 Premier League commentaries on 5 Live tomorrow afternoon. The 2 Premier League matches of the day. Aston Villa Everton from 2, West Ham Chelsea from 4:30. Hear them with us here. Here's Sancho away down the left-hand side. He's away from Porro. This might open up for Manchester United. No, it won't. Basuma is able to come across and block the ball out of play. Sancho couldn't get it across. United had a 4-man front line there, but Sancho was tackled by Basuma. Throw in for the visitors. 10 yards back from the corner flag. We're going to get the Manchester City Newcastle team news very shortly. Can't imagine Eddie Howe will be making many changes, but Manchester United coming forward. Fernandes on the right, we'll get that soon, but Dalot back in field towards Casemiro, and then here is Christian Eriksen once scored after 11 seconds for Tottenham against Manchester United. The last time they won at home, actually, that was the game at Wembley. Eriksen then to Shaw on the left-hand side. Jadon Sancho back towards Shaw, and then Eriksen again, just getting a little thinner on top. Eriksen, as the ball, as we look down on him, he drives it to the edge of the penalty area, but Tottenham clear on the edge of the box, and it's away downfield for them to Onana, who chests it down with Son, as Chris Waddle said, as the furthest forward through the middle. Son having moved in, and then the ball is just kept in on the far side by the Manchester United captain Fernandes, who drives it across, but he's passed it straight at Kulusevski, and Kulusevski will take it on over the halfway line. Still going, Kulusevski, but challenged by Sanchez, and Sanchez and Sarr get there at the same time. The ball's out of play, so let's go to Manchester and bring in John Bennett for the team news on that match tonight.
Yes, John, for Manchester City, 2 changes from the Super Cup. Julian Alvarez comes in for Cole Palmer. Ruben Diaz is back from concussion to replace Nathan Ake. Newcastle, you were spot on, no surprise after a 5-1 win, unchanged.
Thought that might be the case, and with strength to bring on, so Barnes and Wilson on the bench again, and a slip from Manchester United at the back, which actually could have been costly as the ball was played. Eriksen slipped and the ball bounced off, I think, Varane, wide of goal and behind for a corner.
He's a little bit unlucky. I think Holberg's going to come on.
Yeah. Into the midfield, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and Tottenham looking to open a 2-goal lead. Maddison with a corner. In it goes to the edge of the 6-yard box. Sarr got his head to it again, but couldn't direct it on goal. Ball flashed over to the far side. Son is out there. Son playing it back via Davis all the way into the centre circle to Pedro Porro, and then Porro receives it back again. Porro curls it over the top down the left-hand side. Ben Davis on the chase. Dalot has to come across into the full-back area. Ben Davis now on his right foot, and then just a little pass to Maddison on the edge of the penalty area. It's congested, very congested. Maddison turns all the way around, gives it to Davis, right foot across to the back post. That's headed away by Luke Shaw, who got up there And Rashford running the ball away to the halfway line where Sarr slid in to put the ball out of play. A further score in the Ireland-England match. James Burridge.
Hanson with a fourth try for Ireland, John, after James Lowe's 5 minutes ago. They're now comfortably 22 points to 3 up. But the breaking news in Dublin, Billy Vunipola, red card, initially a yellow for a shoulder-to-head tackle on Andrew Porter. There was no arms in it, there was no mitigation, upgraded to a red card. For the second weekend in a row, England have suffered 2 red cards. Farrell last week, Vunipola today.
Yep, that's the story there. And the 100 continues on Sports Extra on your digital radio. Hotspur is going to come on to replace the Tottenham goal scorer Pap Sarr. Only his 6th start for the Tottenham first team in a competitive match. Brought in by Ange Postecoglou for his first home game in the Premier League. And he has had a really good day, Chris Waddle.
Brilliant, lot of energy. You can see why he picked him, especially at home. Loves to get forward and join in. Yeah, he's had a very good performance. Him and Sumo linked up very, very well in that midfield. So, yeah, bright future.
Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton standing by to take your calls on 606, as well as the latest on Manchester City Newcastle from 8 o'clock. So the line's open, 08 085 909 693 to talk to them. Book your call now. So lots of Manchester United discussion. Mitrovic as well, the latest to go off to Saudi Arabia. If you've got a view on that, if you're a Fulham fan, as Manchester United going to go to Budapest again in a moment, but Dalot with the ball on the right hand side, giving it out to Fernandes. Fernandes now, time beginning to run out for Manchester United, 15 minutes to go. Fernandes cross to the far side of the penalty area, that's headed down by Pedro Porro. Now Luke Shaw takes it up on the left hand side. Mason Mount is there. Shaw puts his foot on the ball, curls it into the back post where it's chested back to goalkeeper Vicario by Ben Davis. And let us go all the way to Budapest again for more on the 100-metre heats at the World Athletics. Kath Merrick.
Zarnell Hughes, the world leader and new British record holder, won his heat in 10 seconds exactly. And introduced to the crowd as the world's fastest accountant, Eugene Amodadze qualified for the semi-finals. And Rhys Prescott has just finished 3rd in his heat. So all 3 Brits through to the semi-final tomorrow.
Yes, I heard him the other morning. Amodadze, great story that. The fastest accountant in the world. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. And it is Manchester United. This boy's got a bit of pace as well. Rashford, who is on the left-hand side, sets off but can't get round the outside of Pedro Porro, who does really well. And then Kulusevski wins the throw-in off Rashford.
Well, you know, last season when you're watching games, John, and for me, Porro, and there was 4 or 5 of them for me, you thought they looked well out of depth. You know, couldn't handle it. And but this manager, new seasons, obviously put a lot of confidence into them, a lot of belief.
Rashford's had that one chance, hasn't he, so far in the first half? Remember when he was put through?
I think he's more effective on the left-hand side. You know, what did he get last year? Was it
30?
30 goals, wow.
Yeah, his best season in all competitions. As Son wins the ball back from Bruno Fernandes. Son takes it on through the middle, gives it to Perisic. Perisic couldn't find the cross, but it bounces out to Son. Tottenham back in possession. Ben Davis back out to Son. Perisic makes a run. Maddison's there as well. Little pass to Son, just drags his foot over it and plays it back to the halfway line. I'm sure, yeah, Harry Kane he must be watching this, mustn't he?
Yeah,
if he can be.
Definitely.
Wouldn't it be absolutely fascinating? That is classic fly on the wall, isn't it? To see what he's thinking of this, and possibly what he's thinking is, if I was there,
yeah, he would have had a hat-trick today.
And Tottenham were playing like this. Yeah. What would that equal? 30 goals, 32 goals for him last season though, and they finished in 8th. Yeah, I think that was I just feel that was the final straw, wasn't it? To score all of those goals.
Yeah, listen, he can't have fault him for what he's done.
So Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0, and the Tottenham record scorer, England's record scorer and captain, watching on from somewhere in Bavaria. And Hotspur, having come onto the field, he might be another one who's off to pastures new, having started on the bench for Tottenham this season under Postecoglou. Maddison, though, through the middle. Maddison on his competitive home debut. Son back to him. Now Ben Davis. Ben Davis into the area, overhits the pass through to Kulusevski and it runs through for a goal kick.
So many passes. Why isn't Ben Davis not shoot? He's in the 18-yard box. There's nobody closing him down. He's decided to pass it. Shoot.
Goal kick for Manchester United. We're in a bit of a hole here.
They've been excellent Tottenham second half, by the way. They've made Man United look very, very average.
Yeah, Manchester United facing their first defeat of the season. I mean, could easily be 2 out of 2. However, they've not lost this match yet. Varane carrying it forward. And actually he's got space to do that. And he says, well, I'll continue to do that over the halfway line. A little pass into the central Rashford. Then back to Varane. Now Bruno Fernandes out on the right-hand side. Mason Mount cuts it back. Left-footed cross from Mount to the back post. That's headed away. And then a bouncing shot, lacked power from Casemiro. And Vicario is able to go down to his right and grab the ball into his chest.
Header, wasn't it? He's headed it straight down out into the D. He's got to head that away. But Tottenham still look comfortable. Good in possession.
It's Chris Waddle with us here, former Tottenham man, watching Spurs making a new start here, and a real positivity. I know if Tottenham fans are on 606 later, I think they'll have enjoyed what they've seen from Postecoglou's team here. However, the job's not done yet, and it bounces off Bissouma and Manchester United with Christian Eriksen. And Eriksen now thought about it, I think, but then plays it to Dalot on the right-hand side. Bruno Fernandes back to Christian Eriksen, who will go back further towards Varane, the man who scored the winning goal against Wolves on Monday night. Now here's Martinez. Martinez curls it through, but that's overhit. That will bounce tamely through for Manchester United. And Tottenham have got possession back, and we are into the last 10 minutes now. For 606, call 08085 909 693. Read about today's football on the football pages of the BBC Sport website and app. Watch the highlights, match of the day tonight, BBC One, or anytime on the iPlayer. Football Daily podcast in the morning, and right now on BBC Sounds, the World Cup final preview podcast is out if you want to listen to that tonight in the morning before our commentary at 11 o'clock live from Sydney. Tottenham in the last 10 minutes looking good. Højbjerg, the number 5. Maddison comes short. Be interesting to see what you felt about Maddison's all-round performance, Chris, when we get a chance. But here's Kulusevski. Kulusevski coming in, playing it back to Maddison, who goes back towards the halfway line. And Romero turns, low ball through the middle from him to Son. Maddison then whips a high pass out to the left-hand side. That's a nice touch from Perisic. Low and into Davis! Who scores? Hit the defender, but Davis is claiming it, and Tottenham have the 2-goal lead. They're going to win this first match in the Premier League at home under Ange Postecoglou, and for this second half performance they deserve it.
Oh, they'll be an excellent second half. You can't fault Tottenham. This is what people want to see from Tottenham Hotspur. The fans do, and they've got it today. Brilliant. It's an own goal by Martinez for me. Ben Davis gets in there. He doesn't get a great contact on it, does he? And I think Martinez toe pokes it into the bottom corner. There's not a lot the goalkeeper can do. Ben Davis gets slightest a touch.
Yeah, it's going wide. Yeah.
Martinez, it's an own goal. And it's obviously Tottenham deserved it. They've been excellent second half. Man United probably shaded the first, but definitely second half. Tottenham have been well above Man United.
So it is an own goal. Ben Davis's little touch, I think, was going wide of the far post. Just sort of hit it really, actually, on his left foot.
He did.
But Martinez, a little unfortunate behind him, struck him into the net. And Tottenham lead Manchester United by 2-0. Erik ten Hag was going to make a double change there before the second goal went in. Pellistri and Martial waiting to come on. But with, 6 minutes to go plus added time, you'd think that that's too late, and that Tottenham, particularly the way that they've played in the second half, are not going to let this slip.
Oh, that's a foul
on Dalot, free kick, Manchester United. So Manchester United actually going to make the changes now. Mason Mount is coming off. Quiet, I'm afraid. Mason Mount booed for his Chelsea connections. Pelistri, the young Uruguayan winger, is coming on to play on the right-hand side. And Rashford is off, and Martial is on. And Marcus Rashford goes and sits down on the bench, throws down, I think, his shin pads. I think that's what it was. Frustration. 2 matches after his 30 goals last season. Rashford not able to find the target in his first 2 games of this season. And that reaction sums up Manchester United frustration here. It's Tottenham's day so far. 2-0, they lead, and we're into the closing stages now. Must be close to the closing stages in Dublin, where Ireland are playing England comfortably ahead. Last we heard from James Burridge.
Yes, 5 minutes left in Dublin. Ireland 29, England 10. Keith Earls in his 100th game for Ireland, scoring in the corner. Carl Sinclair's got one back for England. But the breaking news, Billy Vunipola's red card after a shoulder to the head of Andrew Porter.
Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the penalty area in the day shoots, but that's blocked on the edge of the area by Porro. 2 Tottenham men in there. But the place is buoyant here, really buoyant. Tottenham fans singing their songs. Manchester United section very quiet. Bruno Fernandes playing it in, and Vicario comes and scoops it up on the half volley with Pelistri arriving, but the Tottenham goalkeeper has it safely.
Look at the Tottenham players, look, they're all touching the toes, touch of cramp with about 3 or 4 of them. They put a massive shift in today. Basically first half to compete with Man United, but second half absolutely, Man United couldn't get near them. It'd been excellent Tottenham second half. Manchester United,
who are at home to Nottingham Forest next Saturday, as Son turns away but then gives the ball away. Manchester United with Casemiro now out to the right flank. Dalot arriving into the penalty area. Dalot still going, clips the ball across, and it lands beyond the 6-yard box and bounces out into the opposite full-back area. Shaw now curls it in, stretching header away by Bissouma. Been just about as good as anyone. Bissouma in the Tottenham team today. Comes back to Martinez, scorer of the unfortunate own goal. Varane, then to the right hand side. Dalot, Pelistri is there. Tottenham have got everyone back in their own defensive third, and we've got 3.5 minutes to go. Spurs are going to make another couple of changes. Mano Solomon waiting to come on. Here's Pelistri on the right hand side for Manchester United, goes round the defender and then overruns it, but might have been caught there. Pelistri, I think the ball perhaps was already behind by the time there was contact. Pelistri goes down.
Have a look at it,
and referee Oliver is already speaking.
Great turn of pace from Pelistri. Ben Davies is all over him at the back. No, not for me.
Looking for it.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a bit of contact. There's an arm on his shoulder.
No, he's no legs. Yeah, there's a touch of the arms, I'll say that, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think referee Oliver saying,
there's a sub.
Yeah, make the changes. They're happy. They'll be that will not result in a penalty. And it remains Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0. While Spurs make these changes, let's get the latest on the match in the 100 that is on Sports Extra right now. Adam Mountford.
Invincibles 139.47. Tom Curran a vital unbeaten 43 after the leaders were stuttering. Chris Jordan 3 wickets, all bowled middle stump. Tamal Mills with an unbelievable Coulton bowl you must watch back on the BBC Sport website. Brave will need 140 to go second, John.
Thank you, Adam. And it is on Sports Extra right now. Kulusevski and Pedro Porro are off. So Emerson Royal, who is left out of the team today, having actually scored against Brentford in the first match last weekend. Emerson Royal coming onto the field, and also for Tottenham, Mano Solomon coming on, who was at Fulham last season. Had that amazing streak when he scored 5 goals in 5 games. He scored some great goals as well, the Israeli international. Here's Bruno Fernandes. 2-0 Tottenham lead. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693. So Mano Solomon on for his competitive debut for Tottenham. as Bissouma, lovely from him again, and then Mano Solomon drags it back, goes past Shaw. They absolutely love that, the home supporters. That's not bad for your first contribution in a Tottenham shirt. And then Bissouma tried one trick too many and gave it away, but Højbjerg steps in, wins it back. Tottenham looking for a third goal that would finish this off. Manchester United get men back into position, but Maddison receives it back on the left-hand side from Davis, and Maddison then couldn't pick out Son at the back post, and Manchester United should clear. We're in the 90th minute now, though. If it's going to come, it's going to have to come very late for Manchester United. And hey, I've seen some comebacks in this stadium in the brief time that Tottenham have been here, but this one would be a massive shock. However, United with Pellistri into the penalty area, back to the right-hand side to Dalot. Did finish 2-2 here in April as Bruno Fernandes into the back post. Casemiro with a header, but that was straight to Vicario, who was able to make the save.
Yeah, comfortable save. He's played very well, the goalkeeper, when he's been called upon. Not much, but a couple of good saves. This will do this team the world of good, John. Confidence. The one thing they've been lacking in the last, for me, 18 months has been confidence, but this manager seems to 9 minutes of extra time.
9 minutes? Well, that's plenty of time to score 2 goals. And in that game in April, if you remember, Manchester United led 2-0 and Tottenham came back to draw 2-2. Ryan Mason's first match back in charge. So groans from the home supporters, but I think football fans are tuned into the fact that we are having numbers like that now added on at the end of matches. So 9 minutes of added time before we cross to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, who I presume Chris will have arrived back in our 5 Live studios, having been alongside Ian Dennis for the commentary match at Anfield earlier this afternoon. So 08 085 909 693 if you want to talk to Chris about that. He was there at Anfield watching it. Here's Casemiro, now to Pellistri on the right hand side. Dalot's available, and Dalot skips past the defender Davis, pulls it back, stretching a header away by Bissouma, comes out to Eriksen. Tottenham again have everyone back behind the ball. Erik ten Hag watching from sort of side on as it's Bruno Fernandes now shooting from 25 yards, but he just curled a shot goalwards, and that was an easy takedown by Vicario, the goalkeeper. And it is full time in the Ireland-England game. James Burridge.
Ireland 29, England 10. Another poor performance by England, who were well beaten. Ireland scoring 5 tries, but the bigger story is a second red card, this time for Billy Vunipola. A shoulder to the head of Ireland's Andrew Porter, initially shown a yellow, upgraded to a red, just like the Farrell incident. It has huge implications for England, already light at number 8, with the World Cup now 3 weeks away.
Yep, really does feel like England have got an awful lot to do. A little bit like Australia. I enjoyed Eddie Jones' press conference before they left Australia. If you didn't catch that, you might want to look it up. Some choice comments from the former England coach as Tottenham come forward with Mano Solomon. Emerson Royal gives it to Mano Solomon, who then passes it back to Bissouma. So we've had 2 minutes of the 9 of added time, and the Spurs are marching in. And Postecoglou draw at Brentford, and now winning against Manchester United. For the first time, Tottenham have beaten Manchester United in their new stadium. And Mano Solomon in possession, Tottenham knocking it around inside their own half. Still Spurs with Bissouma, who steps away from Bruno Fernandes, and now Davis out to the left hand side. Ben Davis, little ball into the penalty area. Maddison turns and shoots into the legs of Eriksen. Ben Davis hits a shot on his right foot that was well struck, blocked by Varane on the edge of the box. Solomon again for Tottenham. Solomon being leaned into by Casemiro. He's managed to get the crossover. It's headed away by Varane and then kneed forward by Davis, and caught for Manchester United by goalkeeper Onana.
He's done well since he come on, Solomon, doesn't he? He looked quite tricky down this right hand side. Good option for Tottenham.
2-0. South Stand is buoyant in there. Tottenham fans, some of them have taken off their white shirts and are twirling them in the air. And it does feel like a new broom has swept in here to Tottenham with this performance.
A got to build on this, John. They cannot rest on this. It's all right, beat Man United. It's a good result, great result. Now they've got to work and play the next 3 fixtures. They've got to pick points up.
Tottenham go to Bournemouth next Saturday.
Yep.
And then they've got the League Cup tie against Fulham, but then Burnley away, Sheffield United at home.
Well, they've got a good run of fixtures now to build up.
Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0. Where did you predict? Can you remember where you predicted Tottenham to finish in your Premier League predictions on the BBC website at the start of the season? Your old club. Did you have them in the top 4?
6th or 7th.
6th or 7th. Right. Here is Martinez to the left-hand side to Shaw, then back to Jadon Sancho, Martinez. But Tottenham are making this difficult for Manchester United now. Casemiro centrally flights a ball into the box, but that's between Pellistri and Davis, and Perisic actually on the edge of the area applauds, leads the applause, and the Manchester United fans in that corner around the bottom tier, they're beginning to vacate their seats and head to the exits with 5 minutes at a time to play, Chris.
Well, they just haven't had enough, John. You know, let's be honest, Tottenham first half, you'd probably say Man United looked the better side, just not a lot in it. But second half, Tottenham have bossed the second half, simple as that, and Man United couldn't get near them.
Well, it was a faltering start last season, if you remember. Manchester United didn't have a point after the first 2 matches under Erik ten Hag last season, and went on to win a trophy, finished 3rd. And as I say, Rasmus Højlund, there are great hopes for him to score the goals, but Marcus Rashford has ended up substituted as Tottenham go back through Emerson Royal to goalkeeper Vicario, who clears from the 6-yard box towards the halfway line. And of course, you know, there's still that unhappiness, certainly with the ownership situation, and whether there will be some resolution to that. Shaw winning the ball back from Bissouma, taking it through the middle, pass to the edge of the box, and a curling finish on the edge of the area. I actually took it a deflection as Casemiro pulled away and hit the shot.
Romario on the ground, cramp. There's a few Tottenham players been stretching their legs there.
Yeah.
They put a terrific shift in.
Casemiro could have scored in the second half. His header was pushed over. Anthony had the shot against the crossbar. And corner for Manchester United, which is taken deep. It's headed across the box via a deflection. Nodded away by Solomon, cleared away by Son. Comes out to Jadon Sancho. Sancho 30 yards out. Goes square to Eriksen. Eriksen curls one in, and that's a good save from Varane's header. Vicario, it was quite central. And the offside flag is up. And if Varane had been able to plant it into the net as he did against Wolves, it wouldn't have counted.
Well, he's offside. We've seen the replay. He is offside, good yard, but it's a terrific save again. He's made 2 or 3 good saves today. That'll give him a lot of confidence.
6:06 on the way. Touched it onto the crossbar actually, but anyway, Varane was offside. And we've got 2 minutes of added time to play. 08 085 909 693. You can text to join in. 606 85058. Hashtag BBC 606. World Cup final 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. 2 more Premier League commentaries: Aston Villa, Everton, West Ham, Chelsea, and we will keep you up to date during 606 on what happens between Manchester City and Newcastle tonight from 8 o'clock. John Bennett is there to bring you updates. Here's Højbjerg. Højbjerg's given it away to Pellistri. Martial available. Pellistri then couldn't find the pass square. Tottenham were in on him, and actually he's been fouled by Bissouma.
Yeah, it's a free
in
kick.
The day.
Definitely a free kick.
Just on the edge
position.
of the day.
Eriksen, Fernandes, good position. This with what, two minutes to go. But Alberg, play forward. Why are you going back all the time? You've made triangles. You've got space. Turn and play forward. I can see the manager going absolutely mental when they keep going back.
Yeah. He did catch him, didn't he? The ball had gone. He just pulled the ball away, and Bissouma arrived with a knee into the backside. So free kick on the edge of the area. 6:06, by the way. Stay listening, because Erik ten Hag and Ange Postecoglou, all being well, will be coming on to talk to us live on 5 Live during the phone-in with Robbie and Chris. Still 2-0 Tottenham.
At this time of the game, John, would you put somebody on the goal post?
Well,
at this time of the game.
They've got the man lying down behind the wall. We are in the 9th minute of added time.
I'd put someone on the post.
Fernandes, it's central, just slightly left of centre, and Bruno Fernandes over the wall. But as the crowd here at the Tottenham Stadium will tell you, over the top corner as well. And Tottenham, I think, know now that they've got the job done, and they've got their first league win of the season.
Yep, they've got it done. They've deserved it, definitely. You can't say they haven't. Man United, he's got to get the right balance. He's got the right he ain't got the right balance at the minute, Ten Hag. He's tried the same team twice now, and it's not worked.
So a goal kick for Tottenham. This might be the last kick of the match. The 9 minutes are up. The Tottenham are singing. They're on their feet. It's over the halfway line, and there's the whistle from Michael Oliver. And that's not bad for starters for Ange Postecoglou, who calmly turns to his left and stretches out his hand to shake it with Erik Ten Hag. Manchester United slipped to their first defeat of the season in their second match. But for Tottenham, their first win in the Premier League under Postecoglou. And for the first time, they've beaten Manchester United in the new stadium. Good work for Tottenham. Second half goals from Pafsar and the own goal from Lisandro Martinez after Davis' shot deflected into him. Well done, Tottenham, Chris Waddle.
Listen, a big pat on the back. My Spurs have been excellent. Really, energy, the skill levels, the entertainment levels, the desire. That's what Tottenham want to see. Man United, I don't know what's happening at the minute. They started sluggish, and he's got to get the balance right. And the one thing he's got to get is the number 9. You've got to get Rashford back on that left-hand side. Get the balance right this side. It doesn't look right at the minute. There's a bit of work to do for Man United. But Tottenham, if he can get a few out and get a couple, 2 or 3 more in, you never know what could happen this season.
Yeah, lots of questions about Manchester United after their unconvincing win on Monday night against Wolves, and now losing here to Tottenham. But really promising signs for Tottenham in the way that they played in the second half. Manchester United, remember, did have their chances, better in the first half. Fernandes, big moment when he headed over.